feels good. This feels satisfying. I don't know what it is. I'm not a law student. We'll fight you. Put a pin in that. That went hard. Oh my god. I can't believe that's what we're doing. This seems a little bit severe. It's a bit much. Oh, tell me she's gonna step away from the basin. He said the thing! I have a controversial thing to say. Isn't the indemnitium, like, gonna overflow soon? But ahaha, that one trial proved the opposite. Child's trial. Furina actually has no control over the Oratrice at all. That's where we pull in the other part of evidence, the one that everyone agreed Child was innocent, but the Oratrice said he was guilty, which just means it's running off something else. My thing is, Furina literally says up here, gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. What can Furina do that we can't? Technically, we can do more, because we can fight. She can't. Love you, Furina, but you can't fight. It's part of your character. If you could fight, you would have agreed to the duel with Chlorinde. If you could do what humans cannot, you would have agreed to the duel with Chlorinde. But also, she says manifestations of my authority in the same line have served the nation of Fontaine. But as we bring up, the Oratrice, she doesn't control it. That's not her authority. That's God knows what. We don't know what that thing's up to. That's part of the conflict of Fontaine. Why did Child get ruled as being guilty? He didn't do anything. He's done stuff, but not what we were accusing him of. Yeah, so Child's conviction. That would be the one. Easy.
You tried to reference the
I love how it's just all coming together. This feels good. This feels satisfying.
Child to be guilty without any proof.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you
I do think it's related to seeing death in a way.
Myself clear at the time. The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no
That wasn't your
need to
decision,
provide
though.
an
That wasn't your
explanation.
decision.
Lady Furina.
And also, you should be able to provide an explanation if questioned.
Is in order. While the court is in session,
Yeah.
the principles of justice and the law must come before all else.
This
While
is
you
true.
are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial.
So you can't
You will prove
obfuscate
yourself unable
justice,
to
sir.
defend against the prosecution's charges if
You need to say
contribute
the
to
information you know,
vital
or that's
information
like a
against
criminal
the rules of
charge.
the court.
I never thought. You
I forget
used
what the
that
word
kind of
is.
Rhetoric against me.
It's not obfuscate
That was
or
no
whatever.
trick of rhetoric, Lady Furina. I've merely reiterated the
But there's like
rules
a
of the court.
word for if you're like
Rules
hindering
that
the
all should
investigation or
respect and
something,
follow.
right? There's a word for that? I don't know what it is. I'm not a law student.
You neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and
Yeah.
operations of
You
the
think in like the sub 500 years she's been around as the Archon, she would have looked into how the Oratrice works a little bit, maybe?
you mentioned have been made
Even
by
just
the
like on the
real
surface.
Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real
Yeah.
Hydro Archon. Well, now you're
Because isn't the real Hydra Archon still dead? But also Furina said earlier that she would protect,
the Oratrice gave out a guilty
quote unquote,
verdict that
you.
day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first.
But can you
created.
tell us how it operates?
You can't
Like,
argue
specifically?
that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god
Well,
at all.
gods are inherently flawed. If you look at something like literally any mythology, the whole point of the
But she's
mythology
confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over
is
the
like
Oratrice.
the stories themselves are to prove that, hey, these guys kind of suck, but they are a god at the end of the day. And you even see that with like the Archons in Genshin. Like Zhongli, he did his time, but now he's kind of lazy. He's broke. We love him though. He's grandpa. We love him. Love you, Zhongli. But flawed characters. We're already talking about flawed characters. Venti. I mean, you could really, in a way, kind of connect probably all these 7 Archons to one of the sins in a way, which is also very interesting now that I think about it. Because Venti, I would say he's a little greedy. He really likes drinking, but he also does good things. That's the thing. All these characters are deeply flawed. Even if they do a good thing, they still do bad things from time to time too. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on in Natlin, but there's definitely maevely has done something. I don't know if it was maybe like a cowardice thing, but that like she'll learn to face her fears of. Very interested in what happens in Natlin. Don't know what's going on there, but excited to see. The same could probably be said for Furina. I do not know the 7 sins off the top of my head. I just remember some of them. But very interesting concept, that is for sure. But yeah, sure, we can put the Oratrice aside for now, but then Miss Furina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your power as an Archon?
My
That's what I'm
power as
saying.
Archon.
She didn't
There
do
are
anything.
many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power
We'll
of
do
an
it.
Archon?
We'll fight you. We've fought Archons before.
A concern. I'm prepared to extend my
Yeah,
protection to the
Nuvalette can
audience.
protect the audience, and we'll fight you.
You don't need to go that far.
We have fought an Archon before. We fought Raiden. We fought her sister. Was it her sister? Or I think it was a shadow version of her. Who else have we fought another Archon? No, I think that's the only way we fought Raiden. That was the only Archon we fought, but like twice in a weird way. Anyways, a brief demonstration of your power over Hydra should be quite harmless. That's what I was thinking as well. You can just like do something fancy and everyone will believe you. Oh my god, I'm like sneezing again. But yeah, surely an Archon can at least match the capacities of a human with a vision. I mean, it all kind of checks out.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon?
It's funny because this is going to be the long video for the Archon quest, but it's not even the final one. Like, we're going to be done after the trial. However long it takes, we'll be done after the trial.
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of
She's
the
making
people,
this up.
And I've converted the people's
What is she saying?
justice into Indemnitium. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to
Farina,
provide
sweetie.
everyone with energy for their daily
It's not how this works. You are not the first Archon we've met.
A more magnanimous god.
You are not the first Archon we've met. You are like the fifth.
Stretch.
Yes.
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon
Look
can
at this
be,
guy's
how
just
can
like,
they give up their
yeah.
power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
Interesting. Put a pin in that. Do put a pin in that. Can a god with no power still be called a god? I actually really like that line. That went hard. I would say put a pin in it for like later, another time. I don't think it's gonna come up here, but also it will because she is technically the god, the Hydro god to the people. But is a god with no power still a god?
Shouldn't you want to believe in me?
I feel like that's what leads to Farina no longer having to play the part of Hydro Archon, at least on the surface.
Please, you've got to believe me.
We don't, Farina, but it's okay.
Prosecutor said it's true. She really has committed a grave
I'm
offense.
sorry, I keep getting distracted by the mouthwashing NPCs in the background. I keep calling them mouthwashing NPCs because they're so low poly. They remind me of the mouthwashing NPCs. Because they're still super detailed despite being like pretty low poly.
If I'm
And, like,
not
unmoving.
the real Hydro
They're just
Archon,
sitting there
then
staring
who
into
is?
space.
If you
There
haven't,
isn't one. The real Hydro Archon is
none of
dead.
the Hydro Archons
That's the whole
existed.
point.
Nor can you
You're the
find
cover.
anyone who can back up
The
their
Gnosis is under the
claims
sea.
as such. Then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow. She came up
I don't
with
think
the
we
word
have any proof for that though.
How can we refute her
That's
now?
just that's a theory on my part.
Doesn't want to give up.
If we can't prove that she isn't the Archon, we can try to prove that she is just a human. And if she's only human, choose the most. Okay, irrelevant. Tea time with N is irrelevant. I like how it does tell you which ones are kind of irrelevant. So Navia falling into seawater, intrusion of primordial sea. Lindy's attorney. That one, I mean, I'd pick the serial disappearances case and it worked.
It has been established that all fun
Was that really the one? I just guessed.
primordial sea. And that means
I'm the ace attorney.
Since you insist on claiming to be a
Oh my God,
god
did it-
and not a human,
Did it actually
then
work?
there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of
No. Are they gonna tell her to?
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court.
We're all on the
Though
same
you
team
act in
here.
partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Nuvalet.
Super sorry, Monsieur.
Super sorry.
I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn. Now, I've brought some seawater.
Oh
from
my God.
Poisson. As
I can't
everyone
believe
knows,
that's
a
what we're
massive
doing.
flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives,
We're just gonna let her dissolve.
including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater?
Is it just? I guess yeah. One touch does it, because that's what happened to Vache's girlfriend.
Seawater would have no effect on
Oh
you.
my God.
All it should do is strengthen your case. If you
Ooh.
don't dare to touch it, then we
This
will have
seems a
basic
little bit
proof for the
severe.
reverse.
Don't you think? This is a bit much.
Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve.
Okay, so they're trying to like send it home, like, hey, you don't have to touch it.
It's a simpler path of admitting guilt.
Like, please don't touch it.
Navia from
We're just, like,
Spina
putting you on the spot.
Ursula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
There's also a thing to talk
Lady
about there.
Farina is indeed just a human. She's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
Y'all. No. Farina, sweetie.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. She's not gonna do it.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
This is true, but at this point...
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it.
I mean, I feel like she has the right to be terrified of it because maybe she doesn't know fully what's going to happen.
Is she really planning to...
But also, the moment, this scares me because there's the moment at the, while she was running away in Poisson, she's like, I should just give up. Don't tell me she's gonna... Farina, step away from the basin. Farina!
Due to
Oh,
the
God.
inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina.
Nuvolet's like, hey, don't do it. And she does it.
Hey!
But if she can't die, if that's part of her curse, can she die? What's her curse? But she actually did it. She probably didn't know it would happen to her maybe, but she knows what her curse is.
I'm fine. Look.
I do think it might be like an immortality curse or something though. Because she's been alive for sub 500 years. It's less than 500, but it's probably around 500.
I really am your Archon. I'm nothing like a normal human.
I do find it quite interesting though. I don't think they're gonna flash back to behind her. I wanted to bring this up a little while ago, but missed it. A lot of the Archons will have glowing hair when they're using their magical powers. Farina doesn't have that, at least on the usual. But what she does have is the back tails of her coat look like they're glowing to kind of mimic that, which I think is a really fun detail to kind of play with, because there's other details of her outfit that play with the idea of her being a fake Archon. I feel like that's a really cool one. I didn't even notice that till like today.
If you're present, Miss Siegewin, please come forward and
Siegewin?
attend to the defendant.
Siegewin?
Does she... Is this gonna hit something?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see.
They brought in a doctor.
That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewin.
Wait.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin.
That she was nervous,
These indicate
but
that
not dead.
she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected.
Oh, is it like super watered down? Oh, false sense of security.
Thank you, Miss Siegewin. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
No way.
Wait, what did she just say?
No, it was probably super watered down. Especially if it came from Poisson, it's probably like lesser now.
Your tendency to run from your problems. We did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around.
They probably didn't want to risk it, so they just did the super watered down
after
version.
Extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample
Yeah.
that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human.
How do they test that though?
After all,
Like,
on
how
the
do they
off
test
chance
that?
Something entirely unexpected might occur.
It also wouldn't be safe to bring in
Don't
that
want anyone
much
else to lose their life
of
to
the water
sea.
in case something unexpected did happen.
So
If it got, if like they dropped it or something, they dropped the basin.
Sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness.
Fair? That's fair?
It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have.
Oh, she's gonna...
I can't believe.
False sense of security. But what's really going on here? Farina can't have known the consequences of touching that water as a human. This is too unlike how she usually acts. Unless it's actually more important for her to keep up her facade than to save her own life. Or she's also just kind of at the end of her rope in a way, but also that would tie in with a facade. She's like, well, bottoms up, which is bad. Don't do that. This is what I was talking about in the back here. She has these like little tails that light up in the same directions as her hair. That's really interesting. I like that. I think that's really cool. But hadn't she given up on everything a long time ago? That's what I'm thinking. Like, a little bit dark, but...
Everyone, please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing.
Farina, give it up.
Think about it.
We still gotta go get Child out of the abyss. Give it up.
An Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater.
This is true. We don't know that for a fact.
Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
Because she's just doing anything to save her butt right now. That's what she's doing.
Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. God!
Farina, she tried so hard and now she's just like... She tried so hard to play this part and everything's just falling to pieces. Which is sad, but also like it was bound to happen eventually.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone.
Ooh.
The odds are just too
What does the
stacked against her
oratory say
now.
though? Which way is it gone?
Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and
Are they really
presentation
still
of
gonna
evidence
trust
has
the
come to an
oratories though?
end.
Because we were just talking about that. Like,
There
we
are
don't
no
know how that thing
objections.
works.
We will move on to the final.
I hear it moving though. I hear the oratories moving. Is he gonna say the thing? Is Nuva that specifically gonna say the thing? Because that's his line.
I don't think anything she says.
Oh, this is like her mental state. Okay, I was like, wait, what's happening? It's getting creepy. Farina, sweetie. This is creepy.
In my capacity as Chief Justice,
Why-
I shall
why did
now
that
render
scare me?
judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a
Oh,
human
she
who
feels like
knowingly
she's being
deceives her fellow
deserted.
citizens,
And this is
Farina
like a
is
display. This is a really cool way to do it. To kind of like visually show how
guilty.
she feels. Oh, the poor thing. But also she kind of brought this upon herself. It's so messy. Oh, that's the image. That's literally the
We shall
image.
now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale.
He said
to
the
render
thing!
final verdict on the charges.
He said the thing. Oh, I love Honkai Star Rail. I forgot they used the same animation for that. It's been too long. I forgot about that. The ticket kind of looks the same
According to
too.
the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale,
He said the thing.
Farina is
Not guilty. It's gonna say it.
Well, what's wrong? What's the oratrice's verdict?
Yeah, it's gonna say she's guilty, and it's gonna say maybe. What I'm thinking is it might say we're guilty because we also have seen the abyss. I think we have. We've been exposed to the abyss stuff, as well as we've been exposed to people from Conria pretty heavily. So maybe, but it can't be. If it's related to the Conria stuff, though, I do think the Oratrice is made by Celestia, not the Heavenly Principles. Anyways, do the Oratrice just declare Farina to be innocent?
no. The oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
But is it our guilty
Isn't that
verdict?
correct then?
What is it?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus: the Hydro Archon, guilty
Oh, it's gonna.
to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
That's why he was shocked, bruh. I feel like I knew this was gonna happen too, but I'm still shocked.
I've always thought
That's-
that was just a myth.
That's actually a thing that can happen?
The death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been
Oh
given
my
to
God.
the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice.
But maybe that was like the kicker. Like, you're gonna be cursed, and if anyone finds out that you're cursed,
By the oratrice?
you're kicking the bucket.
We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate?
Five was like, yeah, that escalated quickly.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences,
Oh
is this
God.
sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah, even Fache wasn't sentenced
Yeah.
to death by the oratrice.
That's true. I do think he did kick the bucket, though.
Mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
He did kick the bucket in Minecraft in prison, but what's more strange is instead of Farina, the Oratrice rendered judgment on the Hydro Archon. Oh, loophole! So we're killing off the idea of the Hydro Archon in a way, and that's how Farina stays around. But
Indeed.
yeah,
Not only is Farina's sentence
because Farina
overly
isn't the Hydro
excessive,
Archon.
the
Wording, it's all
point
about
of our
wording.
Trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What
'Cause
does
it knows.
this mean?
I believe we're done for the day, unless we're thrown into cutscene. Oh, hello,
excuse
Fremine.
me, If I may interrupt,
Fremine! This is gonna be such a long video. I knew this was gonna be a long video.
is the trial still going?
Fremine, you picked the worst time.
You finally made it.
But also might be the
I
best.
assume this means you've completed your mission?
What Fremine,
Any
what was he
mission
did?
Father assigns to me.
What was
will
it he did?
always be top priority.
Because he was something about fishing? Fish trap? With some help from the other Fatui, Fremine brings a stone slate.
Is that the first prophecy?
He found the missing slate. Where?
Huh. So the knave privately...
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, because he did say it was from father.
And finally found it at
His
the
mission was
bottom
from
of the
father.
sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water.
Just this little guy. He's like, by the way, I found the missing
Has
prophecy
the trial
slate.
already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no.
Is this to prove that Farina isn't the Archon then?
Disappointed in me.
When do we get Child out of the Abyss? Is that like an interlude thing? When do we get Child out of the Abyss? Don't worry, the mystery hasn't been resolved yet. It's still not too late for you to shine. That's interesting wording.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate.
Oh yeah, because he needed the first one to get all the dirt.
Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Nublet, you saw them too, and I know you have a better memory than I do. I know that for a fact.
So what do you see? What is it?
Looks like... what? The previous Hydra Archon releasing her divine power, turning the Oceanids into human beings.
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Okay. Huh? Can we get like a history lesson then?
Guilty of deceiving her people? Wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro.
I had a good yawn. Okay.
So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
So,
in truth,
guys, what's happening?
Everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates.
Okay.
However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
They make no sense, Nubla. I need a history lesson right now. An association between the contents of the slates and the events in real life.
Okay, let's try to recall
Oh, God. Don't make me play Ace
slates.
Attorney with stone slates.
Do our best to help you remember.
Okay. I might split this recording in half. This might have ended up being 2 videos, by the way, because it's getting very long. I believe we just had an encoder overload, but I did split my recordings just to be safe. So we select the descriptions on the stone slates to extract key information from them. Okay. I probably will split this in the 2 videos, by the way. You can find scenarios related to the stone slates contents in the incident record in the interview notebook. There you can verify said content. As the verification process continues, the fountain water level in the menu interface will rise. I need to just do this in practice. When you have finished verifying all the stone slates, the truth behind the prophecy shall be revealed. None of that made sense to me. The real events related to the prophecies on the prophecy slates. Okay.
The slate describes what you just said.
Okay.
It seems to show the previous Hydra Archon using her.
I don't remember how to do this gameplay.
And then
I remember doing something similar.
turn into humans.
I think it's like, does that just mean all the citizens of Fontaine are Oceanids or like derived from Oceanids ancestrally wise? I have no idea.
Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids?
No.
Oh, Paimon,
It would be
wasn't
opposite.
expecting that.
The Oceanids were...
If Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well.
But Silver and Malus don't come back, and they were turned into Oceanids, so...
The second stone slate shows Celestia floating.
Okay, so we are in the agreement it's Celestia now. Okay.
People worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them.
Maybe not necessarily, though, because I was thinking it was like the Hydra Archon praying for forgiveness in a way.
This must be the point when the Hydra
For maybe not
Archon
helping
and
her people, but also there's the people behind her.
Original sin. Does this mean that
I forgot about the original sin thing.
and the Hydra Archon sin are the same thing?
Possibly, possibly.
The third slate shows the Hydra Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people.
Would that be the death of the previous Hydra Archon, maybe? But it looks like Farina.
That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
Child. In the dream. But he wasn't surrounded by people. But was... Moving on.
Well, the first slate is the
It can't be. It can't be.
about people dissolving into the sea, the Hydra
'Cause
Archon
we-
crying on her throne, and so on.
This is the stage. We've literally had this exact shot of Farina, quote unquote, crying on her throne. It wasn't her throne. It was just a normal seat in the opera, but still.
We didn't believe that such
It was the same shot.
could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
I'm yawning again. It's fine. I need a nap. Okay. So the stone slates in the ruin showing the prophecy describe a history of the future for Slate 1. First piece that was originally missing has been found by Fremine. It seems to show the former Hydro Archon using divine power to turn Oceanids into people. We verified truth. We have to pick something now. Okay, so the child bit, the whale dream is going to come back, I think, for this one. I do want to try that one there. So if we're talking about, it would be something that has to do with dissolving. Would it be this one? Verification complete. Okay, there it is.
Of young women, that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater.
This is true.
The first stone slate tells us that long ago the Hydro Archon used her power.
So the primordial seawater turns them back to that primordial state.
Fontanians can dissolve.
Yes, okay, nice. The fact that Fontanians can dissolve in primordial seawater, becoming Oceanids, is proof of their origin. Yep, the primordial state. So then, Prophecy Slate 2, the stone slates in the ruin showing the prophecy to describe a history of the future. This is the second slate, so we'll just skip over that part from now on. The second slate shows Celestia floating in the sky and the Hydra Archon and her people worshipping it together. The heavens still brought judgment down upon them. So if we're going to verify this truth, it's not the child's conviction. What is it? But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. That could be child's conviction. Navia falling into seawater, tea time, announcement of the Hydra Archon's death sentence. Is that it? No, it's not the child one, which is good because I was thinking about, but the child one isn't the narwhal specifically, and I wanted to use that for this one. But also Navia fell like that. She fell into the seawater. Navia falling into the seawater is number 3. Is that it? No, it's not Nuvula. I'm like guessing on this one. It was Farina's death sentence.
Take place has all happened before. The true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nevelet mentioned.
Perhaps what is perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. It'll really, because that's another like through line theory in Genshin, is that everything that we're doing as the sibling we're playing as has happened before with the other sibling. Like the other sibling is set up before us, but there's a certain part of the story where they like diverge, I guess you could say, and become evil, essentially, in a way. But like not really, because Genshin is never evil, specifically good or evil. There's some characters who are, but we're gonna look over that for right now. Hypothetically, no one is good, no one is evil, everyone exists in the middle of those two things. That's a very interesting thing to say, that this has all happened before. A sentence never before passed in the Court of Judgment has been handed down to the Hydra Archon. Just what kind of sin merits such a verdict? Yeah. So number 3, Slate 3, it shows the Hydra Archon sinking into the sea, surrounded by many people. I do think that's Navia.
Not as simple as falling into the sea.
Yeah.
Navia fell into the sea. Her consciousness.
Yes. I was saying like a trial between life and death.
Show the people gathered around.
I can't believe it.
Archon in the sea.
I was right about that.
Could that be alluding to the same thing?
Most likely. Okay, so Slate 4. It shows a scene that is basically identical to that described in the prophecy circulating throughout Fontaine. Fontanians will eventually be dissolved into the sea, and the Hydra Archon will sit alone on her throne and weep. We literally saw her crying and sitting alone and weeping. It wasn't the same sort of deal, but tea time with N. No, it doesn't go there. Okay, so it's not that one. It's one of these two. Intrusion of the primordial seawater. Okay.
Way into society. But not many people believed it.
Interesting, I wouldn't have thought that.
The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause Fontanians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come true. If we hadn't
But it already kind of did, in a way?
Things could have gone very badly.
Because we saw not Navia. I was looking at the image of Navia. We saw her weeping.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater.
So does that mean we can get Silver and Malus back? Can we get them back? Okay, Paimon. This is not an autoclear.
The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present.
I feel like it's more like we're killing the entity that was formerly known as the Hydro Archon sort of thing is happening.
Fontaine's original sin.
What is still that? We still don't know what that original sin is, though.
Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial.
So I was right about that. Okay, and she won her trial technically, or Silver Malus helped her out.
The primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, no matter what.
But it technically kind of had, because we saw her weeping on her throne in a way. It was the same exact shot. Also, I'm gonna be so real.
Recent events. If we
I need to say something. I have a controversial thing to say. This one, this second one, this looks like a YouTube thumbnail. I'm sorry, I think it's because she has the shadow behind her and they like set it up like a YouTube thumbnail. Farina's apology video. I'm sorry. It just looks like a YouTube thumbnail. I've made a lot of YouTube thumbnails. It looks like a YouTube thumbnail. Oh, I'm losing it. Like the other ones, not as much. Not as much looking like YouTube. Maybe number one, but it's because there's like this shadow behind her. It looks like a YouTube thumbnail. I could recreate this. I could recreate this one with screenshots from the Archon quest. That's how you know. I know exactly how they did this. All right, truth's come to light, yeah? Okay, verification is complete. Awesome, we did the thing. What does this get us? A sad feeling. That's what this gets. What are we doing? I was ready to be yeeted straight into the abyss, and that did not happen.
Everyone gets it now, so that's how you can make sense of it.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Yep, probably.
Let's hear them.
The first slate reveals that Fontanians are not real humans.
Incredible.
Okay.
Linny, did you hear that?
They're like, we're not human.
Not real humans.
All Fontanians were originally
all right.
previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis.
They've been human for so long at this point, sub 500 years. Actually, it's probably over 500 years now that we think about it, because this happened before the disaster. They've been human, they being the citizens of Fontaine, they've been human for this long. At what point do we make that distinction of them no longer being human? So I think the Oceanids have been humans for long enough that they're considered humans. Like, there's no going around that. I still think they're human, but ancestrally, they're not.
The evidence for
I hit my microphone.
How only Fontanians could dissolve
This does make sense, though.
seawater, and how all the girls Vache dissolved were also
Like this,
turned into Oceanids.
this checks out, yeah.
Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved,
Flashback.
everyone gathered around for
The trial, and they were Oceanids.
in the shape of Oceanids.
They looked like humans at first.
Indeed.
But the second slate reveals that the crime of the Hydra Archon was her creation of Fontanians from Oceanids. I guess that would make sense in a way. I'm like trying to think of the way to word this, but this like big sin she committed was almost, in a way, I guess, flying too close to the sun. I don't know how to describe it, but this idea of creating life from life is also debatable, because are the Oceanids alive sort of thing before that, but creating like human life from a previously not human creature sort of thing, I feel like that could be considered a sin, yeah. Especially if it's a sin to Celestia, which Celestia already, I don't trust them. They got beef with the Conrians. I don't know why. They made the Conrians into hilly churls because they don't like Conria. What's up with that? So like, I could see them doing something similar here, punishing because they don't have that ultimate power over the Hydro Archon or the previous Hydro Archon or whatever. I see that. I do see that. Meaning the Oratrice is from Celestia. It's related to Celestia in a way, and they're like, she's guilty. We can't explain how, but she's guilty. Something, I'm putting the pieces together. I am connecting the dots. The crime of the Hydra Archon was her creation of Fontanians from Oceanids, though. That would make enough sense. I like how it shows the slate.
By creating humans
Yep.
without prior permission.
Because they want to have like full power over the Archons and Tevat in general.
It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was created.
But if the Hydra Archon never created
And yet,
humans
after many hundreds of years,
from Oceanids,
the Hydro
all these
Archon's
characters we've
creations
known
have
and
turned around
loved
to try to
wouldn't
judge
exist.
The Archon within the opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Okay. As for the third slate, I'm still convinced that it should come after the fourth slate. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be
If it's-
time to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth
No, not necessarily, because this is technically also the order of events, in a way. The fourth slate depicts the fulfillment of the prophecy as it's already widely known, which literally just happened.
In the end, the people will
Right?
all be dissolved into the waters. And only
So
the
do
Hydro
we actually get out of this
Archon will
scot-free?
remain weeping
Like,
on her
I
throne.
thought that people would get dissolved, but whenever people were talking about Fontanians getting dissolved in the Archon quest, were they talking about Poisson? Oh, maybe we are getting out of this scot-free. Yes. But I still stand by the fact that we literally just saw that scene play out.
No, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth.
We're connecting the dots,
However,
Nouvelette.
While you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source.
Abyssal power?
When we were at the ruins, I tried
Cadre
to
power?
decipher the hidden information recorded in the
Uh-huh.
slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion.
Okay.
Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make
Oh my god, it's
another
9
attempt to
o'clock.
decipher the narrative
Oh my god,
recorded within.
things are, I'm getting
If everything goes
notifications,
well,
like tweet
we should
notifications.
finally be informed of
I
the
started this at like
unadulterated
7:30. So, what are the secrets of the slates?
Well?
Well?
Did you get it?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you,
Okay.
but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly
Lay it on me,
summarize
Nouvelette. I don't even need a brief summary. Give me the full thesis, dissertation. Let's go for it.
Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct.
Okay.
In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land.
Oh. Look at the little guys. The
Oceanids were enamored with the
Eidolons?
beauty
Was
and
that it? I know
romanticism
it was an
of human
Eidolon.
beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves.
Oh, because the
expressed
same
to
thing
Hydro
happened in the
Archon
summer
their
event.
desire to become of the
Pre-Fontaine.
same kind.
Yeah.
However,
They wanted to be
even
human.
though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life.
Yes, this
Not
all
wanting
makes
to give
sense.
in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for
Oh
her
my
familiars by
God.
appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea.
So the primordial sea, the power of the primordial sea most likely comes from
blood vessels,
Celestia,
creating
heavenly
humanoid
principles,
mimics
etc.
in the process.
Because I'm starting to think those might be
But
connected,
if
quite frankly.
Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within
Maybe.
their bodies would escape these
Maybe,
artificial
maybe.
restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would
But
be
can we bring
reverted
them
to their
back?
original forms as Oceanids.
Is that allowed? I'm also now interested in seeing like the full Oceanid on my screen. The little
Permission from the heavenly
flaps in the back of Farina's
new
coat
human
look
race.
like little
And
Oceanid
thus,
flaps.
The Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That
Okay,
is the true
but
history of how the people of Fontaine first
it's
came
an
to
interesting
being.
way to go about things, right? Because
We were all Oceanids before we turned into human
it's a very interesting way to go about things because they're blaming like human beings for this, but also do we blame humans for their creation? What do we do? I'm checking my notifications really quickly. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Okay. Human beings. Yeah.
Way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing.
I like this guy. He's like, you know what? I would like to be blissfully ignorant today.
The Hydro Archon be sentenced to death? After all, her only
Yeah.
sin was creating us.
Yeah.
There really might be too much information.
So we're gonna use a loophole.
But it does answer a lot of our questions.
I feel like that makes the most sense. We're gonna loophole it. I hit my elbow.
Regarding
That
the
was
third
not
and
fun.
fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The
Yes,
slates'
I knew that.
respective positions are, in
Yes.
fact, correct.
Yes, yes, yes. What is the third slate supposed to represent then?
A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids.
Okay, Nouvelette, what are you cooking?
They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea.
Okay, fair, fair, fair.
The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice.
It's symbolism.
Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes
So,
judgment and justice.
our little trick
You may
on
also
Farina
recall an
was the
obvious
third
experience.
slate.
When she fell into the sea.
Oh
her
no, this is the
consciousness was
judgment
surrounded
thing.
by that of many others,
But also, I think it
intended
technically could
to hold
represent
a
multiple
trial
things.
to determine her fate.
Yes.
Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon.
Yes.
At the court.
Yes,
of
yes, yes, I was right. It can't be.
Yes. It refers to our present situation.
I was
I think I'm following now. So
I love
what
being
you're
right.
saying is, even though we
I
decided
knew
to
it.
put on
I
this trial to
knew it.
avoid fulfilling the prophecy,
We fulfilled the prophecy.
in truth, everything we've done has happened
Yes.
exactly as the prophecy foretold.
But also, that goes into the what
So
N
now
said
it
about
seems
there's corners of the worlds the gods
we're the
cannot see.
ones
That whole
making
thing?
sure it comes
No.
true.
Just no.
What should we do?
We literally played right into what the gods wanted from us. It feels like there's no way out of this. But that fourth slate
No matter what,
isn't.
the prophecy will be fulfilled.
The fourth slate has already happened as well. There's no flood.
Like to be a prisoner.
We've already done it. Look at the third the fourth, not the third. It has already been, because literally that's what Furina's doing right now. It's also symbolic.
Like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions.
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do
About
it.
the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meropide served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes?
Yes.
However,
yes, yes.
I believe that rather than being a sure sign,
wait, oh no, was I
eruption
wrong?
could in fact only be a small warning of something far
no.
worse to come.
Oh no, oh no.
As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
The abyss. Could it be? Ba-bum, it's a cutscene. It's a cut. Oh god! No, it's not!
This eruption was just a
oh, let me readjust. Let me readjust.
We must find the root cause of the disaster.
To stretch my back a little bit. Okay, water break. We got this. All right, keep going, Nuvolette. Lay it on me again. Okay, the intrusion of the primordial sea into the fortress of Meropide. The secret the fortress of Meropide has been protecting is the entrance to the primordial sea. Though Nuvolette has sealed it once more, just how long will it last? Probably not much longer. The prophesized disaster will likely spread from here, so we're gonna verify that truth. And meeting with the name. No, the way. Verify. Will in the dream.
Both dream and reality.
Yes. I knew it had something to do with the whale. All in one go, baby.
We're talking about a true culprit that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
Tiny child. There's child in the middle of tiny. It looks like a stick figure.
The trial.
See, now these all look like YouTube thumbnails. Oh, we're talking. I got distracted by my little jokey joke. Eh? Oh no, there's the cutscene, isn't it? Bet. Guys, yeah, there it is. Did it is this happening because we figured it out, or did we figure it out like just in the nick of time? I think it might, maybe it's both. Oh, that's a narwhal. Hey. Okay, okay. You go, Nuvolette. You're so cool. Ooh. Ooh. Run, run! Is that... But also we should probably be concerned that it's foul legacy child. Look at them working together. Has he just been fighting this thing in there for the last, like, God knows how long? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. Oh, look at him. His, like, foul legacy suit is, like, falling apart. Oh, no! Don't go back in! Oh my god! Child! What the heck?
That was way too close!
It just left this giant hole in, like, the fabric. Listen, it's not just the sky that's fake, it's whatever this is.
Whale you saw in your dream?
Yeah, that's right. I'd wager that it's also the one that Child saw when he was young. Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
So we've met it at last.
Yeah.
I understand very well why it has chosen to make
It chose to make an appearance. Okay, so it picked the time it did because we figured everything out. It was waiting.
It is a monster that has traversed the stars.
Yeah, it belongs to Star Rail, technically. I say that partially joking, partially not. Actually, if you look at certain lore bits in Star Rail, it does, I believe, mention a whale as well as there's like the lit up the whale light fixture literally on the Express. So I do think it is something from the wider bubble universe of the Hoyoverse, but it's not from DUPED. This is actually right. He literally says it. So
it has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial
that
sea,
wale is, if anything, from Star Rail.
That is the main
Hypothetically.
cause for the rising sea
Allegedly.
levels. And once
It's a
it is
theory.
finished
It's a work in
consuming
progress
all of the
theory.
energy contained within the sea,
I just know that a whale is mentioned in
next
Star Rail
step will
quite
be-
frequently.
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created
Not quite frequently, but
Fontanians
frequently
out of
enough
the
for it to be a point.
She filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely.
Okay.
That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh
Oh, so it's like a
impossible to
vampire in a
resist.
way. Vampire whale. That's kind of fun.
Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of
Or a
fools.
shark.
food in the form of
whale shark. Oh.
We just barely managed to push it back, right?
We didn't do that. That was Child and Nouvelette alone.
People again once it's managed to recover.
So this is why we go into the abyss then?
That is correct.
Yeah?
Indeed, it is more
to fight it back.
That we should thank that harpy.
Yeah, yeah, thank him. Yeah.
The whale would have likely come onto land far sooner.
So if the whale's from is the whale from primordial seawater? Hold on. Whale does not belong to Deva. It is a monster that has traversed the stars. Okay. The fact also that it says a monster that has traversed the stars also makes me think it could be related to the whale that has been mentioned in lore bits of Star Rail, because it literally says traversing the stars. That's what makes me kind of make those dots. Because I know there's a whale in Star Rail lore. Traverse the stars. Boom. It's a theory. It's been consuming the energy from the sea, the main cause for the rising sea levels, which wouldn't it be the opposite? I don't know. So it is drawn to the primordial seawater. So it's not made out of primordial seawater itself. Okay. Okay. Understandable. Okay. Continue.
The way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That's what I was saying, yeah. It's been happening for a minute.
We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it.
Does that mean
like this.
If we ever get a Genshin Star Rail collaboration, the character will be Child? Are we gonna get a Child XP in Star Rail? Because I would listen. Listen, I've made jokes now for the past this is the second year we've done it. Every year I have to go insane over a singular imaginary male character. 2023, it was in Bibiter Lune. This year it was Sunday. I'm not saying that we should have an imaginary child in Star Rail, but I would like it. Hey, maybe that'll be the character for 2026. Who knows? Who knows? Because I'm pretty sure 2025 is going to be an Euphorious guy. So like, who knows? I'm just saying.
It is too late.
We got our Honkai collab. Like, I'm just saying. What do you mean, Nibblette?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's
so now we just gotta kill it.
We could notice it. At this point, it has become practically
Can we kill it?
With the sea itself.
Or will that get rid of the sea?
Even if the entirety of
and that could be a problem, because then if that's powering the people.
And swim off towards some other world.
That's not something I will accept.
Way to go, Navia.
We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit.
I like how it all connects in a way, because I was like, how do we get back to the abyss with this?
Turtle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
Indeed.
You were going to use the power of friendship to figure it out, though, guys.
No matter what.
That's what we do in Star Rail, so we're going to do it here, too.
Prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
Not if I can help it. The gods may be running things here, but I play Honkai Star Rail. Why are we not saying anything?
Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled.
This is what N said.
You may view such things as the history of the future.
Okay, and everything, it still turned out like this. We couldn't fight against fate. But if this is all about fate...
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods.
Could my line, my favorite line.
In corners where the gods' gaze does not fall?
Yeah.
Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future.
That's really interesting, though, if it does rope in with Star Rail.
To play your part.
Because talking about fate here, and fate is already a huge factor in Star Rail with Elio's little script. Interesting. I really want to get Genshin and Star Rail collaboration. Even if it's just like a haha funny silly thing, like the Honkai collab with Sparkle, I want that to I want something. I want something. Because I do think these parts connect somehow. It might be a very roundabout connection, just as a part of a connection in the greater bubble universe that is the Hoyoverse at this point, but I think they connect. I really do. Could it be that even if the prophecy will be fulfilled, there will still be a way to save everyone, which will be... Did I miss something? Probably. We forget about Farina. Yeah, that was... Oh, what was it that she wanted to say to me at the last moment in the giant magic box? This shot, by the way. What is her real secret? Farina, sweetie. There's another cutscene. Y'all. Also, everyone has left the stage except for like the main people. Did she know this would happen if we figured it out?
I was preparing to carry out the death sentence.
No shot. Farina! Get down, Farina! Oh
no,
Farina! We made that jump somehow. Farina! Wait. Wait. How we end up in the void? Ooh, flashbang. Okay. We finished the trial, but this is a whole new video now, so I think I might just have to keep recording this and split it into like 2 or 3 videos because I have no idea where to split these at this point. This is gonna be something that I'd figure out in editing. I'm gonna hate myself for, but this is what I was talking about with the long video, is that we're gonna get to a point in the Archon quest where there is no turning back. We just have to keep powering through, and I knew that was gonna happen today because like we've just been going. I haven't stopped yet, but this is the previous Hydra Archon. Farina?
Sorry. That shocked
I do believe they have different voice actors, by the way, but also it could be the same VA.
I couldn't help myself.
I think it might be the same VA, which is also really cool that they use the same VA.
Who are you?
The original Hydra Archon.
The sweet
Focalor.
sound of bewilderment.
Yeah, it's the same VA, just with a
sure
deeper
sign that
tone.
My attempt to deceive everyone was a
Because she's supposed to be
resounding success.
older in a way.
But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
She does a really good job of this.
Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving.
What was her
the
reasoning,
heavenly
though?
Principles.
Why was she deceiving the Heavenly Principles? I love that the Heavenly Principles play such a big part in this as well, because we haven't talked about the Heavenly Principles in like ages, it feels like.
Wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem
I just want
was
to know.
thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor.
Oh!
As the former Hydra Archon Egeria for the
There was 3 Hydra Archons.
It hardly
Okay.
gets more disastrous than a preordained.
So there was
national
Egeria,
catastrophe.
Now
Now does it? She
And then
knew
Farina?
full well that the prophecy
Yeah.
would surely come to pass.
But we've always thought Focalor
And
was
as one of the 7,
Farina.
She also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril.
Yes.
So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather
Her eyes
impossible
flipped, or is it the same
situation that
model? I
found
think it might be the
myself
same
in.
model.
I spent
But just,
a
like, long hair.
terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only
Was it to
one
sacrifice herself
possible
then?
solution to this
Possibly.
confounding conundrum.
So she would be the one that was
I had
killed?
to outwit the heavenly principles.
Loopholes. Loopholes!
Allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least.
Yeah.
While saving everyone at the same time.
Is it like a weird sacrifice thing?
I'm a genius, I know. I can
In-
only
in a weird
assume
way, she
that's
acts
why
like Farina,
Egeria
though.
chose me as her successor.
She does have a very similar
Although,
personality to
looking back
Farina.
now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of.
Yeah.
Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydra
I've never
Archon,
heard that word in my life.
and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans. I dare say she left me quite a colossal
Considering it is like a
mess
new
to
race of
clean up.
humans, though, that must be why
But one can only
we have special
play
swimming
the
powers
hand one
only in
is dealt.
Fontaine. I guess that's probably
I
the
did not
in-universe
choose
reasoning.
this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
She
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed
Oh.
into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes.
Is
I
Farina
was.
also on that?
I always dreamed of becoming human.
She would have to be, right?
And I still do, even now.
Oh.
In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever
So
known.
is this just
After
like Farina's
becoming a
consciousness
god,
then?
I separated
Yes,
my
okay.
divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a
Yes.
self that was as naive and
Okay.
bewildered as my past
So Farina
self
was
on her
technically not
first
Focalor's,
day
but
as a
also
human being.
technically kind of was in a weird
The
way.
me you see before you now is
This is the
that
god
divinity.
side. When you
And
can
the
tell because her
human
hair is glowing.
counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She
Oh.
could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited.
Interesting. This is
or as
something I
meek
really
and
find interesting.
vulnerable as
Because
she
I've said before that I think the previous, when I thought that Focalor was Egeria sort of thing, not Focalor was Farina sort of thing, right? That the previous Hydra Archon, leaving all of this to Farina, was quite selfish, it seemed like. But this With this here, she could be vain as conceited as she could be as vain and conceited as she wished. It almost seems like Focalor wanted to be that, but knew she couldn't, so she let Furina be that. But also, she really couldn't be that because she was trying to pretend to be the Archon for everyone at the same time.
Were of a kind only a human could possess.
Yes.
As were her shortcomings.
Flawed human being.
But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect.
Yes. Yes.
She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be.
That makes sense because she was talking about the op.
All part of the plan, of course.
I'm sorry.
The plan to deceive the heavenly principle.
Anyway, so then I cursed her. Just casually. I'm sorry. That's like that might be one of the best lines. That one's up there with the corners of the world the gods don't gaze upon. That one's up there with it. I must say. That one got me. I don't even remember what was I saying. Oh, there was the line up here where something about the greatest opera. When did she say it? What did she say? She's something about being the greatest opera, something like that. I'm trying to skip. We need like a search the dialogue review because I do this way too much. To be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. That sounds like something Furina would say, but it's because they are technically one and the same, while still being entirely separate people. And even like little things about Focalor sound like things that are also similar to something Furina would say, like just the little cheeky lines, like that. And then I cursed her.
On her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress.
Yes.
To play the part of
she never really wanted to be the Hydro Archon because she's allowed to have her own wants and needs and be selfish.
Focalor's divinity
but also she couldn't.
Continued to exist. She could not die.
It was in a way immortality curse.
In the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass.
Yep.
I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
Oh, I love that we have an in-game explanation for this.
Isn't she? Even though she has had a long life.
Technically, yeah.
Her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being.
Oh, Nicolette.
Cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed.
Yeah.
And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it.
Ah. Gosh.
It's been 500 years.
Okay, 500 years. I've been saying sub 500, but it's just 500.
Her part
so she did this right around that like initial disaster thing.
Long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Hey, so how about we free her from that and go do some abyss shenaniganry? I'm just saying. Oh, so we all saw that. We all saw that then, everyone? I came into contact with Furina's tears. If I remember correctly, tears often contain a being's strongest emotions. With sufficiently strong hydrosensitivity, I can form an emotional connection, just like I did with that Oceanid at the Fountain of Lucine. Could this be Furina's inner world? Okay, so Neuvillette went and talked to Focalor, and we're gonna talk to Furina now. Okay. What is she doing on stage? Wait a moment. That probably isn't Furina. That's likely a reflection of her inner self. Does she have that inner self, though? Focalor wasn't she the inner self that was now the outer self? So Focalor was I don't know what's going on. If I can directly speak to that self, I might be able to easily get what I wanted to know. I came here for answers. Either way, this opportunity is not to be missed. Let me try talking to her. Okay. I hit my microphone again. I really need to sneeze. Oh my god, we've been stuck here for ages. Oh, it's commissions. Okay, I was like, did I finish a whole another thing?